Hello and hello. Thank you for joining me. How you guys doing? Look what I found here. Slideshow. The Hidden Lexicon. Exploring the most obscure German loanwords in American English. That sounds quite fascinating. Beyond the pretzel. German influence in the English language extends far deeper than everyday culinary items, occupying highly specific academic and philosophical niches. What the heck am I getting myself into? The nature of linguistic borrowing. Okay, I might skip this slide. It says it's fundamentally a Germanic language, but it borrows new words that lack direct English equivalents, can explain complex things, psychological, philosophical. Subcultures often use these. Their original spelling and often their precise original pronunciation, they retain them. Okay, I'm excited. Ersatz. I never heard that one. Do less, so they'll have enough. Rationing gives you a fair share. Okay, so the inferior substitute. That's what it means. Ersatz. 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 So it's like a bootleg generic thing. Meaning an artificial replacement. Originally heavily in World War II for replacement goods like coffee, it now describes anything fake, derivative, or lacking genuine quality. Oh, I gotta start using that one instead of bootleg. It's not necessary. Is it? I guess it's kind of interesting because saying like generic does not necessarily imply that it's lacking genuine quality, but bootleg does. But this is like a combination. It's kind of like both, it seems like. Ersatz. You know, it's just inferior bootleg garbage. All right, I see plenty of that. I can use that. Ersatz. Zugzwang. Who is using this here in the States? Oh my gosh. I haven't heard this one. The compulsion to move. A situation in which the obligation to make a move in one's turn is a serious, often decisive disadvantage. While native to chess, American political and business strategists often use it to describe no-win scenarios where any action taken is inherently damaging. Oh man, I must sound like a genius if I start using these. Zugzwang. I love that. You can't win no matter what move you do. Zugzwang. Next time you're arguing with your spouse, Zugzwang. I give up. I cannot win no matter what I say. I can tell. If I say this, that's bad. If I say this, that's bad. You can just use it like, Zugzwang, I'm done. No, I mean, obviously that would not be the correct actual usage. But that's an interesting word. Zugzwang. You can find yourself, I could see how that would be used in war, you know, or a game like chess. Oof. And a lot of times people don't, recognize that. I don't know what it is. There's some kind of human intuition or natural optimism almost, like where people think, at least here in America, maybe it's that American optimism. They think that there must be a way to win. And it's like, in this scenario, I think no matter what you do, you're screwed, And so they might make a move and then say, oh, I should have done the other thing. And it's like, well, you still would have lost. Anyway, 150 specialized terms beyond the everyday lexicon. Words like angst, kindergarten are universally understood. Oh, angst is German? Somehow that makes sense, huh? Of course it is. Angst. Linguists estimate that over 150 highly specialized obscure German words are actively used by American academics, critics, and analysts to articulate concepts that English vocabulary fails to capture. Wow, 150. Veltzmat. He was suffering from a mild case of Veltzmat. brought on by reading entirely too many morning newspapers. And it means world wariness. Oh, shit, this is me. This is me. This is my problem. I recognize it too. I'm always just reading the news, and it hasn't been good lately. For the last 15 years, it just hasn't been very good. I've got a mild case of Veltzmat. World wariness. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow. Who's ever using these words in America, props to you. Must be some serious intellectuals. Wunderkammer. A cabinet of curiosities. Ooh, that's fun. Used by American art historians to describe an eclectic, uncurated collection of wonders. I need one of these. Wunderkammer. Who knew there was a word for that? Fettschrift. A book honoring a respected academic presented during their lifetime. Exclusively used in high-level university circles. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't even know what to say about that. I honestly feel kind of embarrassed because I don't think I'm ever going to read a Fettschrift. Bildungsroman. A formation novel, the standard literacy criticism term for a coming-of-age story focused on moral growth. A formation novel. Okay. So, I mean, we do have that term, coming of age. That term is widely used here in America, at least. I don't know about other English-speaking countries, but in the U.S., coming of age story, you know, classic. Usually with books and movies. But you guys call it the Bildungsroman. And if I said that, I'd sound a lot smarter. Echt. Echt. Meaning authentic, genuine, or typical. So it's kind of the opposite of Ersatz. Sorry. Echt. Used in elite cultural criticism. That dinner is echt New York. Oh, so it's like that's the real New York right there, you know. The local pizzeria. The big pizza, you know, the Italian man. Or, you know, accent, at least. Not, obviously. Probably not actually Italian man. He'd be making Italian pizza. But, you know, that New York accent. That's echt New York. Echt.
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 Echt. Echt, New York. That's echt. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Other niche integrations. Schreiermary. Excessive, unbridled enthusiasm or sentimentality. Often used pejoratively by music and art critics to describe overly emotional, structureless admiration. Ooh. How am I supposed to remember that? Wow, finally, this is like the only one I've actually heard. Realpolitik. Politics or diplomacy based strictly on pragmatic considerations. I have heard that. Realpolitik. I didn't know what it meant. So it's like actual practical, pragmatic considerations rather than moral or ideological premises. A staple of American geopolitical analysis. Okay. I finally found one I've heard. Realpolitik. Interesting. That's a German word. It doesn't really sound German other than the spelling here at the end. Realpolitik. Sturm and Drang. Literally storm and stress. Originally an 18th century literary movement now used to describe any period of intense emotional turmoil or violent upheaval. Oh, I've heard that as well, actually. Sturm and Drang. Sturm and Drang. I have heard that. Sturm and Drang. Like once. A tapestry of thought. These words survive and thrive in American English because they provide unparalleled precision. They fill the linguistic gaps, allowing us to articulate the complex human experience with exactitude. Nice word there. Fragen? Thank you for exploring. I'm open for questions, guys. Any questions? Just kidding. I'm the opposite of the person who would be actually presenting this. I'm the person watching the presentation. I'm the person with questions. But that was interesting. That was really actually very fascinating. I feel like I just need to pick my favorite, like, 2 to actually try to remember and use, you know. I liked ersatz. In fact, let me get the actual pronunciation here.
Ersatz.
Ersatz. Ersatz. I need to see it in a sentence. It is sort of an ersatz substitute. Okay. So, an inferior substitute. Isn't that a little bit redundant to say an ersatz substitute? Some of us have props, racing programs, and glasses of ersatz beer. Okay, ersatz. Ersatz. I'm actually going to write it down right here in my notes so that I see it every day until I use it at least once in a video without having to look at it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.